This right here is a statue of Lewis and Clark. This statue was dedicated on October 26, 2003. And Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, while quartered at the George Rogers Clark home site overlooking the Falls of the Ohio, fulfilled a presidential order by Thomas Jefferson, recruited, enlisted, and trained the leadership of the military expedition to explore the American West. And as you can see right here, it's a statue of Lewis and Clark right over here on the Ohio River, Clarksville, Indiana. Let's go. What's going on, good people? This is P9 with another vlog, and I am here in Clarksville, Indiana, more specifically on the Ohio riverfront in an area called Fall of the Ohio State Park. So Clarksville, Indiana is where I'm at right now, here in Clark County, Indiana. And I'm here in front of this statue of Rosie the Riveter. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this statue before on a lot of different postcards and things of that nature. But here's a statue of Rosie the Riveter, and it was actually named after a woman by the name of Roswell Monroe, who at 22 years old was widowed and left Kentucky with her 2 children and found employment as a riveter working on B-24 bombers. World War II united Americans like no other event in our history, and to help our nation, over 6 million Rosies took jobs to support the war effort. When actor Walter Pidgeon visited her plant, he chose Rose to appear in his documentary promoting war bonds and crowned her Rosie the Riveter. After the war, Rose and her family reside in Clarksville, Indiana. So yeah, you've seen that We Can Do It before, and yeah, it's really cool. So she's basically, Roswell Monroe is symbolic of the women who partook in the World War II effort. But yeah, I'm here in Clarksville, Indiana, and you have a really good view of the downtown Louisville skyline from here. Way better than the view from New Albany. And this is just a marker with the scenic spans of the Ohio River between Clark County, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky, provides a treasure of historic bridges. Here's one of them right here. It's called the Big 4 Bridge in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And you have the John F. Kennedy, George Rogers Clark, and Pennsylvania Railroad bridges. So you can see that right over here. And this is the crew of the K&I bridge right over here. The Big 4 Bridge further east in the John F. Kennedy Memorial Bridge was built as a railroad bridge for Cleveland, Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad Company. It took nearly 7 years to construct, and 2 construction accidents cost several lives before the bridge was completed in 1895 at a cost of $2.5 million. So extremely dangerous undertaking, building a bridge. So as of now, people, the temperature is probably at about 55, 56 degrees. Not too bad. It's a little sunny. I mean, the sun is out, so it's not too bad, but cool enough to wear like a little light jacket or something, for sure. Some long sleeves. Now, over there on this side, you have some buildings. You have like you have a couple of apartment buildings over there that's built right over here in Clarksville, right across from the Ohio River. And that building right there on the left is actually ice creamery called the Widow's Walk. The Widow's Walk Ice Creamery. But let me continue. Let me proceed down the riverfront. And check this out. They have this little observation thing right here. It's like binoculars. You spend 25 cents, get a close-up of the city across the river. Pretty cool. Now, this section of the Fall of Ohio State Park is called Ashland Park. Again, there goes one of the railroad bridges over there, as you can see. I always like riverfront parks, even more so riverfront parks that have views like this of a bunch of the tall buildings in a big city. That's always a good thing. Welcome to Clarksville, Indiana, Ohio River Greenway. Really nice. Now I'm driving alongside the trail of the Fall of Ohio State Park. So just passed by Ashland Park, which has a playground. And I'm about to go underneath this bridge over here. Riding down Riverside Drive. And right over here is the Fall of the Ohio Interpretive Center, that building over there. Doing some more riding around here in Clarksville, Indiana, nearby the Ohio River. Now we're gonna go more so like into the city portion of it. There's an auto bridge right here. Some hotels over here. Sheraton, that was Fairfield by Marriott Hotel, apartment buildings. Okay. Now this area over here is called the Water Tower Square. So the Water Tower Square is kind of like looks like a shopping area or something, or maybe like an entertainment district or something to that effect. Let me keep going straight. This looks like the kind of like the industrial section of Clarksville. This building right here, this historical building here in Clarksville, is called the Colgate Clock. The Colgate Clock is one of the largest clocks in the world. And this is actually in the building known as the Colgate-Palmolive Factory. Now, historically, this building once served as a prison. It opened back in 1847, and it replaced an older state prison, which had opened in 1821 in Jeffersonville. Now, once this building was sold to Colgate back in 1923, the state sold this building to Colgate, and then the Colgate-Palmolive Factory produced its many products here in this building. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the prisons or the prisoners, you know, were actually working in the prison, and they were basically producing soap. So soap was a major production by the prisoners during that time, around World War II. The clock was designed by Colgate engineer Warren Davey and constructed by the Seth Thomas Clock Company for the centennial of the Colgate Company in 1906. So this is a very historical building right here in Clarksville called the Colgate building, or the Colgate Clock, whatever you want to call it. A lot of history associated with this building. A collection of RVs over here. Just passed by a Derby Dinner Playhouse. So this part of Clarksville is known as the Theater District. I'm over here on Stancifer Avenue. Some pretty nice houses out this way. Nice little modest homes. I'm going to conclude this Clarksville video right here at the George Rogers Clark home site, Falls of the Ohio State Park, Indiana Department of Natural Resources. So this is also part of the Falls of Ohio State Park. This is George Rogers Clark home site. So we're going to check it out. It's also over here by these strong currents from the waterfall. We're gonna see those shortly. It's a little muddy over here, so I'm trying to avoid as much mud patches as I possibly can. Trying to step on as many pieces of grass that I possibly can step on. And you guys have probably heard about the Lewis and Clark expedition before, multiple times, depending on where you went to school at. Lewis and Clark expedition was part of history. But near this site on October 26, 1803, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, with the nucleus of the Corps of Discovery together, set off down the Ohio River on their epic journey to explore the Louisiana Purchase and the Pacific Northwest. So they went all the way up to the Pacific Northwest, up to Washington, Oregon, Idaho, all those places. I believe Montana was on that trail as well. Oh, so you can come over here and have like a little barbecue if you wanted to. They have like a gazebo over there. But check this big old rock right here. Has a marker for George Rogers Clark. Near this site stood the home of General George Rogers Clark, pioneer, soldier, patriot, conqueror of the Northwest Territory. So here it is right here. This marker was erected in 1922. So George Rogers Clark, again, he was a major figure in the American Revolution. And this is his home site right over here. It overlooks the Ohio River, as you're going to see. And check this out. This looks like a log cabin right here. It's pretty nice. Imagine living this close to the river. You seeing those large currents on a regular basis. This looks like one of those I don't know what it looks like. This might be is this like a fireplace? It looks like the chimney of a brick home, and the remains of it. And it looks like that is the fireplace right there. Interesting that they preserved that over here. The remnants of that home. Y'all check that out over there. Check out that powerful current of the river right over here. And between these trees, you can see another angle of the skyline for Louisville. I'm gonna go back down here. See if I can somehow go to the other side of the park. Try to avoid this mud, all this mud, as much as I possibly can. Excuse that little cough, guys. Trying to shake this cold. It had somewhat drained my energy a little bit, but I have plenty of energy though to do these vlogs, so you know how that go. Got to clean these shoes off a little bit. This is the other side of the park. This is the Lewis and Clark trailhead. So there is an Ohio River Greenway multi-use path. And this is a map of Clarksville, Jeffersonville, New Albany. So this Ohio River Greenway path pretty much runs through all these cities. And I'm gonna come over here to this other side of the park. Check it out. You know, check this out. I wonder what this is supposed to be. Is this supposed to be like a carving of a boat or something? It looks like a carving of a boat. Pretty interesting sculpture. Pretty interesting sculpture right here. But you know, you have the cross right there. Definitely can't leave that out. The cross made out of wood. Another one of those markers. This one was dedicated July 30th, 2012. Another marker dedicated to Lewis and Clark, the keel boat. So this is the, okay, so this is the keel boat. This is what this is. This is a sculpture of the keel boat. And that's K-E-E-L, if you were wondering how keel was spelled. So this is cool how they have these pathways right here. And then like as you're walking or jogging or biking, whatever the case may be, down these pathways, you come across really nice sculptures, monuments, and historical markers. I always felt that to be really dope. Excuse me. So you have these markers right here. A bunch of historical figures right over here. Now these images right here were, of course, a lot of these people were born in like the late 1700s, 1800s, around the time of the American Revolution. But these pictures are just reenactments of those particular points of history. Nathaniel Hale Pryor was born in Virginia about 1772 and was first cousin of Sergeant Charles Floyd. His family moved into Kentucky when he was 10 years old. Pryor was sworn into the Corps of Discovery on October 20th, 1803, and was appointed one of 3 sergeants on April 1st, 1804. He was considered a man of character and ability. So he was basically the chief, looks like the Mandan chief of the Cherokee Indian tribe. So that's Nathaniel Hale Pryor. And Charles Floyd right over here, who was born in 1772 in Louisville, Kentucky, probably at or near Floyd Station. So you had Charles Floyd and Nathaniel Hale Pryor, John Shields. You have York right here. And again, a lot of these individuals, they didn't have the exact dates of the birth, or in some cases, the date that they passed away. Because again, they didn't really keep records of stuff like that back then. And here's William Clark right here. And he's the younger brother of General George Rogers Clark. So here's some information on him. And this is the history of Lewis and Clark in Clarksville, Indiana. Here's some images of them as they get ready to embark in their expedition up into the Pacific Northwest, as I mentioned earlier. So really cool historical monuments right over here at the Fall of Ohio State Park. And you see this sign right here. It says flashing red light, boat ramp closed, hazardous currents may exist. I mean, no kidding, with those crazy currents over there. And with that in mind, this will conclude this video here, right here in Clarksville, Indiana. Got more content coming from Indiana, but this concludes the Clarksville, Indiana section. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. I really appreciate you guys for watching. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with that notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. That in mind, good people, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.